Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support. Today I read an interesting article on yahoo.com, put out by MoneyWise and written by Victoria Visosky, titled, "Florida Woman Jailed After Her HOA Took Her to Court. Why You Should Never Ignore Your HOA's Petty Requests." My friends, this title immediately caught my attention. I wondered, what in the world did this woman do? Well, I'm going to tell you. This lady is from Florida, and she had a minor dent in her garage door, some dry grass, she had some mildew on her mailbox, and she had a cargo van parked in her driveway. Apparently, the HOA took her to court, and she was given 30 days to rectify these problems or face jail time. She immediately got to work on rectifying these issues, but she missed some mail which pertained to her next court date. Well, she went to pick up her daughter from cheerleading practice. She was pulled over, handcuffed, and booked into the Orient Road Jail. I really hate to hear about this situation. Imagine how traumatizing that would be to your daughter. I'm sure that her daughter's friends at school probably asked her, "What did your mom do to end up in jail?" "Oh, we had some dry grass, we had a small dent on the garage door, we had a cargo van parked in the driveway, and we had some mildew on our mailbox. And my mom was working on rectifying those issues, but she missed her next court date, so she ended up in jail." My friends, some HOAs can be very aggressive, and sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've driven through neighborhoods where the HOAs are very lax, and that's not a good thing either. You see oil stains all over the driveways, you see multiple cars parked in the driveways, you see paint that is missing on the trim, you see window screens flapping in the wind, you see the low quality builder grade 3-tab shingles that are missing on the roof. You see all types of children toys scattered throughout the yard. You might see a lot of junk piled up on the side of the house. The list goes on. And a lot of these folks don't maintain their yard at all. Some might have had a sprinkler system at one time, but they did not keep up with the maintenance, and now it no longer works. So you do have dry, crispy lawns next to someone else's house that has a beautiful green lawn. It really can look awful when you have neighbors that are not doing what they should to maintain their property, and that could potentially impact the value of your property. Nobody wants to buy your house if it's right next door to a place that's a complete wreck. Now, there are some folks that get a bit carried away. I was at someone's house a very long time ago, and we were sitting on the back deck, and this person started to throw a fit because the neighbor's back lawn had a few dandelions. I thought to myself, look, those are pretty yellow flowers. There's not that many. It's not like the entire lawn was covered in those. There was a few. But this person was really upset, said he was going to call the HOA immediately and file a complaint because the neighbor is not treating the lawn correctly. I thought to myself, geez, I would not want to live next to you. Can you imagine really getting bent out of shape over something so trivial? There are a lot worse things that you might have to deal with in a neighborhood. When I was the HOA president, it was constantly babysitting other people. There were a lot of grown adults, and they just could not manage their own affairs. They could not play well with others. I really got tired of the pettiness. on a regular basis. And some people tried to skirt the rules. So at the time, a lot of folks wanted satellite television, and we did not allow satellite television dishes to be mounted to the side of the property. You couldn't have it mounted to your deck. So some people decided to not have those satellite dishes attached to any part of the structure. Instead, they all started to buy these large buckets, fill them with Quikrete, and then have the pedestal for the satellite dish in that bucket filled with Quikrete. That was their way around the rule, which stated you couldn't have the satellite dish attached to anything. It wasn't attached, it was just sitting on their balcony in an ugly bucket filled with Quikrete. I always thought it looked awful. So these were some of the things that you have to deal with when you're the president of an HOA. Now, I was a lot more focused on building up cash reserves. I wanted to tackle some expensive capital projects that needed to get done. There was a lot of deferred maintenance at this community, and the money had not been well managed throughout the years prior to my arrival. So I was heavily focused on that because I wanted to protect my investment. Unfortunately, there were others who couldn't care less about the issues with the parking lot or some of the common areas that needed to be renovated. They were more interested in complaining about their neighbors. It was really unfortunate. I think you need to be really careful before you ever buy into a community with an HOA. You need to review all of the documents, and if you are thinking about buying a property in a condo community, you really should find out from the treasurer what the financial situation is for the community. Get a copy of some of the financial statements to see what kind of shape they're in, and also get a copy of all of the HOA meeting minutes going back several years. The dirty laundry is often exposed in those meeting minutes. If there are problems brewing in that HOA community, well, you may find out about them through the meeting minutes, and you may decide not to buy a property in that community. Let me tell you, it's a lot better to do that than to buy a property and go to your first HOA meeting and find out about a bunch of bad stuff. I'm sure that your heart would sink if that happened. A lot of real estate agents will simply tell you what the HOA fee is, and they may explain what that covers, but beyond that, they don't know much about the community. I think if you're planning on buying into a community with an HOA, you probably should talk to some of the people that live there, find out what it's like to work with the people who are on the HOA board. Are they reasonable? Is there any drama going on? Find out if there are any problems. And like I said, have the real estate agent request a copy of the meeting minutes for the past several years and try to get your hands on a financial statement to see what type of cash reserves they have. Otherwise, you could move in somewhere and surprise, a special assessment could be levied, and now you're on the hook for a lot of money that you weren't expecting to pay. That's just what I think, and what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. What do you think about all this? Do you live in a neighborhood with an HOA? Do you live in a condo community? Have you ever experienced some of the drama like I've discussed? If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.